happy as I am, Charlie.
Yeah. We got places to go, people to see, a paycheck to earn. Come on, we gotta go.
No, we're this close.
Finally onto something.
Yeah. We're onto something that could possibly blow Alec McIntyre's mysterious past wide open.
Can I help?
No, thank you. As our household accounts, I'm turning over to Winifred because I am going to work at the hospital. As soon as they will schedule me.
Oh. I don't think the hospital's far enough.
I beg your pardon?
Actually, you know, you could go to Timbuktu and it wouldn't make any difference. Because you'll still love me and you'll still want me and you know it.
I just want my life to return back to normal, so if you will excuse me.
You think I'm cruel, don't you? And heartless. Well, you're right. I am.
That'll be all. Winifred, thank you. Coffee?
You said it was urgent, Adam.
You still take cream and sugar?
Adam, I have 2 meetings before lunch. I'm busy.
You have time for coffee. Gloria spoke to Dmitri. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to convince him not to testify.
Yes, I know that. Gloria told me that already. It was a bad idea anyway. It was just a long shot. Never mind. So, what is it? What is it you wanted to talk to me about?
You've been charged with the attempted murder of your husband. Long shots are the only ones coming your way at this moment.
You invited me here to depress me? You invited me here to discuss my future behind bars? Goodbye, Adam.
Erica, I'm your friend. Your ardent admirer. I want to help. That's why I have a critical proposition for you.
Look, what can I do? You name it, anything. I'll do anything. Just don't take the children away from Tad.
Talk to my lawyer.
Brooke, really, please.
Don't.
Let me try.
Are you sure?
All right.
Brooke, I know I'm being pushy and I'm asking a lot, but would you just listen to me?
We said all there is to say on New Year's Eve at the boutique, Dixie.
Well, nobody knew that you were pregnant then.
My condition is nobody's business but my own.
Using the kids to punish Tad is wrong. It's going to hurt a lot more people than you know, including yourself. Trying to keep those children away from their father is going to make you miserable. You'll never forgive yourself, Brooke, and you know it.
All My Children. Brought to you by Vicks Chloraseptic Lozenges, part of the Vicks family of products.
Jamie loves Tad. How are you going to feel when he cries for his father?
Your concern for my children is so touching. I'd like to know where it was when you lied to your son when you were sleeping with my husband.
I said I was wrong. I hurt a lot of innocent people, especially you, Brooke, and I am so sorry for the pain that I caused you. And I don't want to cause any more.
No, what you mean is you don't want me to hurt you.
No.
Or Tad.
This custody thing has just gone so fast that nobody's had any time to calm down. And here we are. I mean, the judge is going to decide custody today. He's going to make it formal, legal, very hard to reverse.
That's right.
Brooke, you saw what happened when Adam tried to keep me from seeing my child. I mean, I suffered, Adam suffered, and most of all, Junior suffered. I was so desperate, I thought running away was the only way out, but it wasn't. Maybe you feel the same kind of desperation that I did, but I am telling you right now, running away doesn't work.
Are you finished?
You're a lot smarter than I am, Brooke. Please don't make the same mistakes I did.
You know what? You're right about one thing, Dixie. I am a lot smarter than you are. And the only mistake, the dumb mistake that we have in common is that we both trusted Tad Martin. And I, fortunately, no longer do that. And I'm going to take care of myself and my children in a way that you could not possibly understand in a million years. You think still that you are a good mother? You think that you're so devoted to the needs of your children? Let's just run a little reality check, shall we? Who took care of your children when you were off with Tad in California or in Canada or in New York?
Junior was well looked after.
Yeah, well, no thanks to you, Dixie. No thanks to you. You know what? You haven't learned a thing. And you want to stand here and you want to talk to me about parenthood? You, as if you know anything about putting a child first.
All I know, Brooke, is that a child needs two parents. So I'm begging you, before anybody else gets hurt, just forget about moving away, okay? Don't
go
drag
to
Jamie
hell.
that way. Please.
Take your pathetic martyr act and get the hell out of here.
That's enough. We'll settle it in court.
You want to settle it in court? Fine. We will settle it in court. Judge Hale is going to make the pronouncements now, not your mistress. You tell her to stay away from me.
Critical proposition?
Yes. The answer to your problems and mine. The kind of bold stroke that we're famous for.
Oh, just get to it, will you, Adam?
All right, I'll get to it. As a major stockholder and member of Enchantment's board of directors, I'm acutely aware of the importance of a company's public profile in these troubling times. The stock market doesn't lie, Erica.
Troubling times. You're not referring to the gloomy economic outlook. No, no, no. You blame one tiny decline on Wall Street on my totally unwarranted indictment for attempted murder of my husband. Well, I should have known. So, what is your brilliant solution as if I don't know?
Erica. No one is more sensitive to your predicament than I am. I have been where you are. I have walked a mile in your moccasins.
I may be sick.
I think the Beatles said it best. I get by with a little help from my friends. Duvon.
In other words, you, Adam Chandler, major shareholder and member of the board of directors of Enchantment, you, Adam Chandler, who only months ago was flat on his back, unable to do anything at all. You now think, Adam Chandler, that you are able to run not only your company, but mine. No, thank you.
No, you misread me.
Oh, Adam, I may appear vulnerable due to some tiny little blip in the stock market, but I assure you that I have my life and my company well in hand.
This is not a takeover or a coup. No, not at all. Erica, this is an opportunity. I offer you a valuable resource, an employee who helped bail me out when I needed it, and he can do the same for you. Erica, this man works wonders.
You know, I never expected you to do anything like hire Charlie and Haley to find Janine. So last night, cruel and heartless doesn't really begin to cover it. I was up all night thinking, and I would like to tell you about Janine. everything if you will hear me out.
Well, this is a switch.
I hate talking about the past. I hate even thinking about it. But I did last night. I must have burned a half a cord of wood sitting there thinking about her. And about you. Now, what it is that makes the two of you special. Why you're the only ones that I've ever loved.
Alec, maybe on
Gloria,
second
please,
thought...
please, just let me finish. Okay? Because what I keep telling you, the reason that I keep fighting so hard to hold on to what we have, a lot of that is because of the way that I lost her.
I think you're afraid. I think you're afraid of whatever Haley and Charlie may find out, whatever it is you've had covered up. Do you realize they could be bringing Janine back from Boston?
I don't care. Listen, I'm not afraid of the truth. The truth is that I loved Janine. I loved her with everything that I had in me, and she loved me in the same way. I blew it. That's the truth. In the end, I blew it. I did everything wrong. And I was unbelievably cruel. I looked back last night, and I was so ashamed.
What happened?
We came from the same neighborhood, but everything about us was different. And that would have been okay. Except where we grew up, kids like us weren't supposed to fall in love. We were just up against so much. And in the end, I couldn't take it. I let it get to me. I was a coward, and it tore us apart.
This is at 162 Hancock Street, apartment 4C.
Home of record of one Celia Wilson, younger sister of Janine Wilson.
I still can't get over Janine was the love of Alec's life. The whole thing, like, weirds me out, you know? Oh, well, I just hope she knows where her sister is. Come on, Celia, open the door.
Celia Wilson?
Who wants to know?
My name's Charlie Brent. This is Haley Vaughn.
We're friends of a friend.
Are you Janine Wilson's younger sister?
Yeah. What of it?
Last time I laid eyes on Janine, she was living with our grandmother in Cambridge. Now, she could be anywhere.
You don't happen to have an address?
Well, I haven't spoken to her in years.
Anybody else from the family heard from her? Any friends or anybody?
Janine dropped out of sight like a rock. Her choice. And now Alec is looking for her.
Well, we're looking for her. We wanted to surprise him.
Well, he'll be surprised, all right.
You don't think he'll be happy to hear from her?
Well, Alec told me that she was the first real love of his life, but I guess they didn't have such a happy ending.
Your friend, Alec McIntyre, treated my sister like garbage.
Janine wasn't like anybody that I had ever known. She was just so bright and fresh and full of hope. She just had something about her, you know, and even as young as we were, I knew it. I knew it. She was my first love. She was also the first black person that I ever got to know. You should have seen us. We were attracted to each other immediately. I mean, immediately. But of course, we pretended to hate each other. Because we had to. We were programmed to hate. We knew hate. We grew up in neighborhoods where love thy neighbor meant you love the people that you go to church with and you hate everybody else. But not her. Somehow, we just never bought that. We couldn't stay away from each other. I mean, we had classes together, and our minds just worked in the same way. And you know, even though we argued about everything, and she never put up with any of my bull. But we started going out. quietly.
I don't know why this surprises me.
Hey, interracial dating was not exactly smiled on at our school. You know, people got reamed for that. You don't cross those kind of lines where I come from. You know, we didn't sneak around. That's not what I'm saying. We didn't advertise our relationship. That's all.
What about your families?
Oh. If I had told my old man, he would have beat me to a pulp. And my mom would have cried enough tears to sink a battleship. I never told them. But Janine told her folks. Or rather, her sister squealed and she owned up to it.
What happened?
She had to move in with her grandma. And we tried to tough it out. And for a while, when we could be together, it was like magic. What you dream about. What I feel for you now.
What went wrong?
I didn't have the guts that she did. I put my future and myself first.
I don't need your cast-off employee, Adam. I spent the morning on the phone to London, raking in profits from my long-lasting lipstick. And for your information, I am holding a press conference this afternoon at which I plan to announce record sales worldwide. That will forever put to rest that rumor about my sanity or the lack thereof.
Eric, I believe you. But I know from sad experience what a toll stress can take. Now, this man thinks on his feet, learns quickly, is capable of taking orders, and even more importantly, is capable of giving orders. Clients love him. The shrewdest decision I've ever made was hiring Alec McIntyre.
Well, I'm very happy for you, but I don't need a keeper.
Oh, I was the same way, exactly. I resisted at first. I thought it was just me against the whole world, a one-man band. Haley and Gloria made me see the light. And in all the months since I've hired him, I have not once for one moment regretted that decision. Whenever he was needed, he was always there.
Well, what a glowing endorsement. Why do you want to get rid of him?
Well, he has another 6 months on his contract. And I'm over the hump now. I'm ready to fly solo. I'm ready, you know? Erica, I'll be honest with you. I thought of, well, giving him a bonus and giving him a job with somebody who owes me a favor, just sort of, you know. But then I thought, what about you, my dear friend? Courageously plugging along through this, her most difficult time. And I thought, why not be generous? And kill two birds with one stone.
Every internal siren I have is screaming full blast.
Yeah, I know. I'm a prince among men, dedicated to enlightened self-interest.
You're a ruthless, unprincipled tyrant, Adam. And if Alec McIntyre is such a hero, why would you like to pawn him off on me? Adam, either you tell me exactly what you're up to, or I swear I'm going to walk right out that door. I'm going to take your furniture.
Honey Bunch, you look so tired, so worn, didn't she, Love Bug? You need some rest, honey.
You look lovely, Brooke. Tired becomes her.
Thank you. I'll check on the judge. Look, Brookie, can I just tell you something? Please, not to point my nose in where it doesn't belong, but just say something direct from here.
Not if it has anything to do with the hearing.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It is about Hawaii, which I'm sure is a paradise, but, you know, if you move all the way to the South Pacific, you are just going to break our hearts into a million tiny pieces.
You belong here, Brooke.
That's right. We all love you so much, honey. You and Jamie and that... oh, new little bambino just waiting to be born. We want to be part of your life every day, forever.
Yes, you're part of our family now, Brooke.
That's right. So just don't make any hasty decisions, okay? That's all that I'm trying to say. Think about Ruthie and Joe and me, the kids' grandparents. You know, they need us.
I know I really felt that I had to give it a shot, but... did I make things any better? No, I just made them
Dixie,
worse.
you tried. And I love you for trying. And you never know, maybe something you said got through to Brooke on some level. Anyway, we're about to find out.
This county is now in session. Judge Patricia Hale presiding.
Please be seated.
This is a hearing to resolve custody issues brought to light in the uncontested divorce of Thaddeus Martin versus Brooke English Martin, a divorce in which no property or settlement claims have been filed by either party. Is that correct, Miss Fry?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Mr. Logan?
Yes, Your Honor.
Very well. Let's proceed to the all-important question of the best interests of the minor child.
For a smart girl, Janine had no brains at all. She thought Mom and Dad would be happy.
No such luck.
They did everything but keep her in chains to break them up. But Janine went right on seeing him. She used to climb out the window at midnight and meet him in the park or someplace and come back at dawn. I never got any sleep.
So the problem was the color of Alec's skin.
Don't go thinking we're a bunch of bigots. Our parents wanted the best for us. And since Alec was the best at practically everything he did, Janine stupidly figured they would like him. No way my father was going to let her get serious about some white guy. That's just the way it was.
And after that, everything went downhill for Alec and Janine.
Just the opposite. Janine was in love. She and Alec were going to set the world on fire, she said. She was sure of it. She even had me convinced. Except there was a little hitch in her plan. Alec was more ambitious than she thought. He decided to set the world on fire by himself.
I was a jerk. I had this life picked out. This rich guy kind of life that some people had. People that had money. I wanted a nice house. I wanted the right school, right job, nice wife kind of life. That's what I wanted. And I wanted it so bad that I could taste it. So when the scholarship to Yale came through, I said, hell. You know, I jumped on it. I'll never forget the night before my bus left for New Haven. I will never forget this. It was September. It was a full moon. Janine and I made love. And then I just said goodbye. I said goodbye. I got on the bus next day, and I never looked back. I never saw her or talked to her again. I left South Boston, and I wiped it and her out of my memory. You know, until I fell in love with you, I hardly even ever thought about her. Isn't it? That's a nice way to treat somebody that you love, isn't it?
Well, at least you're being honest, finally.
I made a mistake a long time ago, when I was a boy. I wasn't strong enough or wise enough to make the right choice, but I'm a man now, and I can guarantee you that I am not going to let the woman I love slip through my fingers again. So whatever I have to do, I'll fight for you.
Your Honor, the stipulation entered into and agreed upon by the parties regarding the future child custody speaks for itself.
I've studied the document.
Then you're aware that it was entered into by both parties with clear intent that sole legal custody of the minor child be vested with the mother in the event that the marriage was dissolved.
Your Honor, Mr. Martin acknowledges signing the agreement, which was drafted long before their marriage, when he initially learned he was the child's father. My client now seeks nullification and asks for joint custody of any and all children born to the union.
Your Honor, this is a legally binding contract. Mr. Martin and Miss English entered into it to protect the child from the very circumstances which have in fact occurred. Miss English determined upon Mr. Martin's miraculous return to Pine Valley that she would never risk losing her child. Her love, her commitment for the welfare of her son is unquestioned. She raised the boy alone for 2 years, 2 years in which she believed Mr. Martin to be dead.
I'm familiar with the events.
Then you are aware that she was very wise in endeavoring to ensure that the relationship between herself and her son would not be severed, despite any future circumstances. Now that that day has arrived, I believe that this contract should be upheld, affirmed, and implemented without delay.
Your Honor, Mr. Martin signed the disputed custody document while he was recovering from his miraculous return from the dead. He was experiencing headaches, memory loss. He was under the care of a physician. In short, the document was signed under duress during a period of time when my client was not in full possession of his faculties and therefore not legally competent to sign it. He was anxious to soothe the doubts and fears Miss English expressed, yes, but he did not intend to relinquish his parental rights. On the contrary, Mr. Martin wishes to exercise those rights. He would like regular contact and healthy interaction with his son on behalf of himself and the child's grandparents, Dr. and Mrs. Joseph Martin and Mr. and Mrs. Palmer Cortland. James Edward Martin has built a happy and loving relationship with all of these people, and he should be allowed to continue that relationship. Your Honor, we ask that vengeance and bitterness on the part of the child's mother not take away from him this family. We ask that you find this document null and void. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Miss Fry, Mr. Logan. I've listened carefully, and I'm ready to announce my decision. I've studied this case carefully, taken into account the strong statements made by both parties. In the interest of the minor child, I hereby rule the disputed custody document null and void.
That's not fair. She can't do that. That document was legally executed. You signed that document in good faith.
English, please calm down.
You made a promise to me and Jamie. You promised that you would...
Your Honor, please, may I have a moment with my client?
Look, I'm sorry.
Very well, but warn Miss English I will not have disruptions in this court.
This is just wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong.
This is not a setback. We discussed this. We knew this was a possibility. Now we just move on to Plan B.
You don't care about this.
Of course I care.
This is an outrage.
This is a court of law, and this is the one time where you have to appear only 100% in control of yourself.
He swore he would never do this.
Miss Fry, is something wrong? Does your client require a recess, or can we continue with this hearing?
One moment, Your Honor. Brooke.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Your Honor. Please forgive my outburst.
Thank you. Now, we'll tackle the custody issue. Mr. Logan, we'll begin with you.
Yes, my client, Mr. Tad Martin, wishes to make a statement.
You may address the court, Mr. Martin.
Thank you, Your Honor. My son Jamie was 2 years old when Brooke told me that I was his father. Since that time, I've thanked God every day for the gift that my son is to me. In return, I've tried to be the best parent that I can. It's a rather amazing experience. I teach my son how to throw a ball, how to play catch, and he teaches me all about patience. I've fed him. I've rocked him to sleep at night. I've taken care of him when he was sick. Now, I know that Jamie needs his mother. Every child does, but I also know that Jamie needs both his parents. And not just for a few days on some beach in the South Pacific somewhere. Jamie needs me. He needs his father on a regular basis. And I need him. Now, I'll do what's right for my family. I'll do whatever I have to cooperate with Brooke. Now, as long as she stays near Pine Valley, I know that we can work this out. Your Honor, I love my son. And I don't want to lose him. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you, Mr. Martin.
Your Honor, Miss English has no intention of remaining in Pine Valley. She has already presented the court with ample proof that she is capable of earning a living in Hawaii or wherever else she should choose to live.
Your client's actions are strictly a punitive measure against her husband to keep him away from his child.
Your Honor, Mr. Martin is the plaintiff in this divorce action. It is he who abandoned his home. It is he who cohabitated with another woman. It is he who instigated the breakup of his family. And it is Mr. Martin who is attempting to be punitive by attempting to hold Miss English geographic hostage and to vilify her reputation.
How do you answer that charge?
Your Honor, my client is not a saint. He is simply a father trying to do the best by his offspring. At this point, I think it is important that the court know this week Mr. Martin learned, and not from Mrs. Martin, I might add, that she is expecting their second child.
I don't know how many letters she wrote and phone calls. Once she took the bus to New Haven to try to find him, but she said she got lost. But I think she chickened out. Couldn't face him. He disappeared. Alec McIntyre. Some smooth operator, huh?
What happened?
You mean after? She floundered for a while, then dropped out of school and left town. She sent me a couple of postcards, then nothing. When our parents died in a fire, I called the last address I had, some housing project in Center City. I reached her a day before we buried them. Oh, we only talked for about 2 minutes, and she had to go. She was crying, but she didn't show up.
She missed her parents' funeral?
She missed everything. Next time I called, the number was disconnected. She had gone.
Just vanished into thin air.
Not even a rumor. Nothing but bad news to take back to Alec McIntyre, huh? Janine's dreams didn't come true. She couldn't do it alone. Tell him that.
We will.
He's a big shot now, right?
You could say that.
And ultimately, Alec and Gloria became close, of course, and he had the bad taste to make a pass at her. She rebuffed him, and nothing came of it, I'm quite sure. He was honest, but...
But you would like to remove him from temptation from now on?
Precisely.
Very wise. But I need a Don Juan in my life right now, Adam, like Seattle needs rain.
If he were stupid enough to make a pass at you, which I'm sure he isn't, you would kick him right in the next week. Oh, Erica, be sensible. Would I even suggest this if I thought it would jeopardize my assets? Enchantment stock is much too valuable to me. If I thought either one of us would lose a dime, I never would even suggest it.
The fact is, Adam, I have been thinking of taking someone new. However, when and if I do that, I will do my own choosing. Thank you very much. I know you can find something else to do with your leftovers.
I would hoped not to have had to say this, but, however, unless you reconsider, I'm going to sell out and resign from the board of directors. Enchantment stock will plummet. A nasty debacle for a public company.
So now this is a threat. This is no longer a gift or an opportunity.
No, it is still very, very much a gift. It's only... what is that catchy phrase? It's an offer you can't refuse.
Well, at last, the Chandler's true colors revealed in all their glory. Well, tell me something, Adam. Now, what if Mr. McIntyre, your cast-off right-hand man, doesn't perform as well for me as he has for you? And just what if I don't respond as enthusiastically to Mr. McIntyre's talents as you did? What then, Adam?
Miss Kane? Excuse me, what about me and my talents?
Alec, what nifty timing. I was just singing your praises, listing some of your marvelous accomplishments here at Chandler Enterprises.
Uh-huh. What, if I may ask, inspired the sudden appraisal?
I told you he was sharp. Eric and I have been comparing situations. I'm back in top form now, thanks to you. But Erica's having rough times.
I know. I'm sorry.
But I assure you it's only temporary. You need a new challenge, Alec. And Erica is in need of top-level executive assistance. A match made in heaven. I'm turning over your contract and Miss Kay.
Alex leaving?
Is it true? Adam says you thrive on challenge.
Well, he's correct, as usual. But problem is that our contract is written for financial, professional, and managerial services solely for Chandler Enterprises. Now, see, I could sue you for breach of contract.
Ah, well, any legal action would take months to get off the ground, and I'd have to fight you every inch of the way. In fact, I'd have to countersue you for failure to provide services requested, or providing services that were not requested. Freezing your pay in the process.
Well, now, Adam, perhaps Mr. McIntyre would like to work out his contract with you for personal reasons.
Such as? Oh, well, that's a good point. Personal satisfaction has been a real plus here. But business is business.
If you don't want to work for me, I certainly understand.
No, please, don't mistake my reservations for lack of interest in your company or lack of respect for your proven track record as CEO. I would be honored to go to work for an A-level firm like Enchantment. I just find the fact that this particular negotiation occurred without my input somewhat inappropriate.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Perhaps I failed to make myself clear. This is a done deal.
I'm impressed. Mr. McIntyre stood up to you, Adam. Mr. McIntyre has just been sold. Lock, stock, and barrel. He looks barely ruffled. Maybe Adam's right. Maybe you could be the right man for me.
As a mother whose prenatal concerns are paramount, Miss English certainly has the right and the responsibility to pursue the healthiest possible environment for herself as well as for her children. Your Honor, Mrs. Martin respectfully requests that sole legal and physical custody be granted to her of all minor children born to her. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Fry and Mr. Logan. Both sides have presented powerful arguments. Mrs. Martin's right to pursue her career and choose a healthy environment for herself and her children is guaranteed by the United States Constitution. Yet what's also at stake are the rights of two children to know both father and mother and grandparents. Now, while the court does not deny the negative impact of Mr. Martin's abrupt divorce action, nor the painful effect it had and obviously still has on Mrs. Martin, it must also recognize a sincere desire by Mr. Martin to be part of his children's present and therefore be part of shaping their future. The court wishes that more fathers in this country felt that way. I'm afraid I must agree with the plaintiff that Mrs. Martin's abrupt decision to move to Hawaii, where she has neither family nor friends, to pursue a career seems punitive. Freelance work can be pursued in Pine Valley. Therefore, barring any new evidence brought forward to support such a move to Hawaii, the court rules that Mrs. Martin shall, for the present, retain physical custody of the minor child, Jamie Martin. However, she may not move this child further than 1 hour from Pine Valley and must grant generous visitation rights to Mr. Martin.
No. No, he can't do this. I'm not going to let him do this. His dad's rights are not what they think they are.
Brooke, sit
There's
down.
something that you don't know.
To Celia, Janine Wilson's life took a 90-degree dive after Alec walked out. The kid vanished into thin air, no contact whatsoever for years. Celia blames it all on Alec McIntyre.
Yeah, well, there are two sides to every story. Look, anyway, finding Janine doesn't matter. Adam got rid of him. He handed over Alec's contract to Erica.
Adam fired him.
What? What? Adam fired Alec?
He sort of traded him. Alec is now working for Erica full-time.
Oh, yes. Way to go, Adam. That is the best news I've heard in a long time. Right, Gloria? Isn't that good news, Gloria?
Yeah, right. Of course it is.
Well, goodbye, Chandler. Hello, Enchantment.
I I need nothing less than total commitment.
Well, you have it. Absolutely. From this day until the end of our contract.
You understand these are very complicated days for me.
Yeah, Adam has kept me up to date, and naturally, I read the newspapers.
Well, they lie, Alec. Almost everything that's ever been written about me has been just fabricated hogwash. Believe me, I never meant to stab Dimitri. This was a tragic accident. However, they have indicted me, and so I am in serious hot water.
Well, I'm on your side. And it's interesting. You know, since you mention it, maybe my first suggestion as your new vice president should be a bold one. Make me acting CEO until after your trial.
Quiet in the court. Quiet. Thank you. Mrs. Martin, if you have any new information regarding anyone's rights in this case, this is the time to speak up. Have you anything to say?
Yes, I do. Tad Martin doesn't have any legal rights to make any sort of visiting arrangements for this child that I'm carrying. Because this child is not his.
Next, can Blair and Dorian form an uneasy alliance? Stay tuned for One Life to Live.